IRPS initiative of 3G IRPS headquartered in IIT Madras Research Park is an education platform creating a community of 1 million career coaches to address one size fits all education and transfer the country by helping students to decode their inborn potential. It was launched in ISB Hyderabad and is designed as a result of 10 years of research by thousands of scholars. We endeavor to empower each student to align their passion with their profession by helping them to choose the right career. 3G Career Talk is a project to raise awareness about everything career related with sessions and interviews from industry experts. It's my privilege to invite the speaker for today's Career Talk, Ms. Shruti Goyal. Ms. Shruti Goyal is a professional resume LinkedIn writer, profile critic, personal career coach who has aced 1500 plus profiles. She has done she has done her master's in rural management, entrepreneur and small business operation from Amity Business School. She studied her bachelor's in mass communication, journalism and marketing communication. She has conducted numerous activities and workshops on LinkedIn profile enhancement and resume building. She is a personality who is passionate in impacting and adding value to the lives of the youth of the country. It is with great excitement I invite Ms. Shruti Goyal to take over the session. Welcome, ma'am.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Sefian, for introducing me to the session. And I was speaking to one of the you can say, attendees of the session today, and he wanted me to speak regarding the job position in the market. How relevant is it to position yourself in today's time, especially when the market crisis is absolutely going haywire and people are not knowing how they can move forward to position themselves for the job positions that have rolled in the market? Well, I would like to introduce by saying that searching a job is not a difficult aspect of life today, but it has been a bubble that has been created in the industry. I don't know how many working professionals are attending this session today, and I don't have the numbers of how upcoming professionals are also attending the session today, but this session is going to be important aspect to understand how you can position yourself during this pandemic time, how you can leverage the opportunities while what you have learned in the existing times, and how you can boast your personality with whatever you have learned in your career. So, not to take too much of time now, I would really request all the participants to please come up with as many queries as you can, because this is a more interactive sort of session. And I would really like you guys to come with the constructive questions, because this is like I am present online over here. And I don't know how many people will come forward and have a one-on-one interaction with me post the session. So it's a good time to come up and speak and also raise your queries while taking up this session forward. So, with COVID pandemic, the world has made a great shift, and it has been. I hope the screen is available it's been visible to all. I mean, the PPT is visible to all.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It's visible.
Okay. So
Yeah,
with
it's good.
COVID-19, the world has made a great shift towards digital. And everybody can realize, can feel about it, because everything is on digital. You're working from home. Your skills are now dependent on digital learnings. Even the traditional practices like marketing is also being solely dependent now on digitalization, and digital marketing is taking an utmost space compared to what earlier the traditional route of connecting to people over marketing used to be the agenda for any business to grow. And this social media presence of individual is also getting increased and getting noticed on day-to-day basis. While change in evolution have always been the constant for humanity. The idea has become even more dynamic when we are seeing that even the businesses have accepted the virtual presence, and all the work related aspect has been conditioned to progress while people working from home. So pandemic has created a matchless economic uncertainty, and which makes it obvious to all of us who are present over here, that we have a less job opportunities within few sectors, but at the same time there are upcoming skills that have ramped up their recruiting efforts to fill critical positions. So as a resume builder, I come across with different industry professionals who come to me and they ask me how they can move forward and grow their career opportunities in the same industry. The major dent that has been widely seen during the pandemic time is tourism industry, hospitality industry, automotive sector, and some of the IT sector as well, where the the work was very much related to outsourcing at the same time when the products were being sold in the market. So the dent was basically on those factors where consumerism, uh, purchase and selling capacity, and even your leisure, aspect has been, it has become a major dent to these industries. So most of the recent candidates, if I talk about, have come from the automotive industry, and minimum of those candidates had a 15 years of experience. Now they wanted to further grow in the same industry because they have given their careers to the same industry. They have built their fortune, I should say, in those, working simultaneously and consistently in those industries. So one of the candidate, I can take it as a case, he was been working in the automotive industry and he did his working professionals MBA program for MDI. Now, the major shift that he was looking out was the enhancement of the upskilling, like basically of himself to sustain himself in the automotive industry. So when I was speaking in general regarding about the industry, he said jobs are not losing because people don't have talent. The jobs are being lost because people don't know how to represent that talent. Now, there are many engineers, there are many upcoming professionals, non engineers as well, who are gaining skills, who are earning certificates, is going to match with the job position that has been rolled in the market. So, the idea that there is a huge gap in the job market, because suppose if there is a marketing, I'm taking an example, if there is a marketing job which is available in the market, and you are a digital marketer but you are specialist in CPA, or social increase of a page, any social media page, but you don't know how to identify that what job responsibility is asking you to perform, and you just see, okay, it's a digital marketer job position, I'm going to apply for it. Definitely your resume, your profile is going to get rejected. So amid its pandemic, that all of us are in a great mode of learning, that where is a wide gap, why the job seeker as well as the job giver is having a major problem to intersect and to identify that what role you can play, at the same time what best benefits they can take out from your skills. And that's where taking assessment route and getting to know what exactly I'm going to take forward in this presentation is really important in today's time. I think it's yes, yeah. So the thing is that, as I said, the digitization has taken a major role in each one of our lives, and it has become an evident for all of us to identify how we can upskill ourselves that can ramp up the recruiting efforts to fill the critical positions. So, how you can navigate and you can meet those obstacles and avoid the crisis. Now, the world has made a great shift towards digitally by marking their social media presence. So, I'm not saying that you have to build your career in digital marketing. You have other modes of living, you have other modes of sustaining in the industry. But the social media presence means a digitalization. So, whatsoever skill you have been professional into or you have graduated from, you can upskill that while taking a route of digitization. It could be anything. It could be upskilling in the parameters of in demand skills in 2021, which I will be showcasing. Or it could be whatever you have reinstated to call yourself as. Could be digitalized. It could be you can say vamp. It could be you can say proper structured and can be presented, which is matching to the demands of the job seeker. So every industry now these days have a demand of technicality. So if you are accountant also for that matter, what technical skills you can give in that position is important. And for that you need to understand that whatever jobs are being taking up and has been rolled out in the market, you have to understand what job responsibility is dedicating to and to whom it is being dedicated to. So if you're not a best fit to that, if you're not matching to that job responsibility, it's a sincere request, guys, don't apply for that. Because on every application, your it's because everything is getting digitized, so your resume is going to be digitized. They will extract your name, your contact information, and your personal details, and they will fill. I mean, you can say they can register in their computers. So later on, if you have if they roll out with some certain position, which you might be best fit in, but they might just reject on the grounds of your previous application for the role for which you have applied to. So you have to be really, really, you can say, you have to optimum utilize the social media platform. At the same time, you have to be very careful to what roles is it going to benefit you to, to showcase your persona. For that, you need to constantly be activated on social media platforms. It could be any recruitment portals. LinkedIn is a one stop destination. You can also start connecting with people, start growing networking, and also start assessing the markets by reading journals, by reading newsletters, by reading current news that is, online, and also try to adapt to a new transformation which is going to help you to reinstate your skills. The best part working of skilled workers. Now, even you are sitting at the native place, you can apply for jobs that are based out of cities. And these companies are actually considering the skills, and based off that, you will get a call. And it is not so important now these days, and after pandemic also the organizational structure is also shifting. So you might continue working from home, and it will not hamper to your working experience. It will not happen to your working skill that you have earned and you have presented to that job position. So take it as, see, everything has a pros and cons. You can take pandemic as a advantage to give a new sustainability effort in navigating technology, accepting as it is the technology, and what are the in demand skills in the market that is going to give you enormous opportunities to experiment and can help you to understand, like, what can further you can grow into. Now, the in demand skills of 2021 that has been listed by Forbes and other authentic websites is mobile application for technicals. Yes, more of the technical side, because yeah, people, the traditional businesses which were running from past 25, 30 years, they have also now experiencing the importance of digitization, and they have converted their methods, process of working, and transforming digitization to their business working style. So it's like all these skills are purely technology. And even if you are non-technical person, there are certain technical skills which are suitable for non-techie people, and you can earn those skills. You can understand the process of how you can evaluate, how you can uh, how you can position yourself while learning that skill online. So it's like mobile application, UI UX designer, DevOps, then programming language skills, that is going to be C++, Java. I don't know why people still are moving upwards, like they don't want to consider C++, Java to be a basic coding learning, whereas people now these days are coming back, you know to do those programs to get their programming structured. Cloud computing, then you have cybersecurity, big data and IoT. AI and ML is a biggest shift, paradigm shift that has been seen in almost every industry, be it automotive, be it hospitality and management, tourism, be it banking industry, be it any traditional industry that has been working since years. AI and ML has been instilled, and it has been rooted to every industry in today's time. Blockchain is going to be eventually one of the best skills, and high paid jobs will be given to those professionals who are having a niche and they understand the criticality of this position. Data architect, that is basically understanding about the systems and how you can prepare the programmings, and cloud, you can say data cloud and all these things are involved in data architecture. Then defining IT architecture, that is about systems and working hardwares and in place. And because people are working from remote areas, so technical engineers are high in demand during the pandemic time. And you have UX CX professionals. So these kind of skills are, most of the skills are technical, but there are certain skills like UX UI designer where people from the non-tech industry can also consider growing their careers. Apart from this, there is another course called design thinking process, and people write, they really are fond of, every individual now these days on LinkedIn is fond of writing themselves as a design thinker. Guys, first understand what is a program, understand why the people are writing themselves as design thinker. Even you have program management sort of roles which is also being taken into consideration by marketing professionals, and for that you don't need to be a technical, from technical background. So you can be a product developer. Product developer has a different insights. I mean, even data scientist is also applying for product development position. So it's on the based on the requirement. So even non-techies and techies and AI and MLs, and depending on the position's requirement, don't go by the title, by the position, program management, product engineer, product manager. Try to understand what the job is expecting from a job seeker, whether you can fulfill that sort of credibility being asked by you. So if that is being matchable, then definitely you can apply for those roles. Now, where to look for the jobs? This is something which I tend to be asked by many professionals, and I give a simple answer, that is that you have to be aggressive, good researcher on internet, because digitization is going to first demand to be a good researcher, to be a Google searcher. And for that thing, LinkedIn is one of the one-stop destination that you can see, and where you can grow networking, you can grow connections, you can see a lot of recruitment pages being associated on LinkedIn. You can start following them, you can start connecting with those people who are working in the recruitment firms. You can also start considering to research on recruitment pages like Job Marshall, IM Jobs. Then you have Naukri, Monster. These are authentic recruitment pages where you can see and you can check the jobs position. Twitter is also growing a good space to find jobs, and people are responding. So you can search the professional on LinkedIn, and you can also connect them via Twitter. Now, speculative applications. What is that? Speculative application is basically 80% of jobs that are showcased in the market by posting those positions online. The rest 20% jobs are hidden, and that hidden jobs could be an internship opportunity, or could be a regular job, could be a skill based job. That sort of job is only been you can only identify through networking. So networking is something which it was considered to be one of the major factors in the past, and still it is going to continue to be a major factor to grow your presence. So just a second, guys. Yeah. So networking is something which you need to be a constant or regressive connection maker that is going to help you to find those hidden jobs. And believe me, hidden jobs can give you much better opportunities than the 80% known job positions that are rolled out in the market. So the internships that, for example, the internships that I have taken in during my graduation times are basically a 20% hidden from the hidden job markets, where I grown connections, where I have networked with people. And during that time when I did my undergraduation in 2000, way back 2008, the concept of internet was emerging, but you didn't have any social media platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook. Eventually it grew, like the concept of high five and Orkut had just developed. So during that time, networking was way too different and difficult, but still I managed to take up the opportunity and learn as much as I can through the internship opportunities. So can you guys, because now these days LinkedIn has made a small world. So you can connect as many people and find out if any job position or internship opportunities is rolled out in their organizations, and if they can help you out. And please don't be hesitant about it. So, what's needed when applying for jobs? It's a very critical question, and it is a very simple answer to it. Okay. Because even public, private, and social sector leaders are taking urgent steps to manage the fast evolving crisis in job processes and in working style. And there is a room also to focus more on speed, boldness, and innovation. So networking is constantly for applying jobs is a foremost factor for public, private, and social sector. And you have to consider the foremost factor, profile building, that is your portfolio, which is going to help you to understand that where your credibility lies and how people are taking you as. So today's session is going to help you basically with the aspect of how you can grow your presence, because in digitization during last year, like from the pandemic when it started, people are telling they're introducing themselves as personal brand. And LinkedIn is it's a showcase for individuals to to basically ask them, like, what to ask us basically to what we are and how we can resonate our personality to what we have written. So portfolio is basically not focusing mainly on LinkedIn, but also a one piece of document that is known as resume. And this is going to deeply give us an opportunity to connect with recruiters with connections over LinkedIn. And you can share a piece of document to them, you can ask them to have a review, and they can also can help you to find out the loopholes, or you can say They can assess your profile. So I'm a profile critique. I have assessed profiles more than 1,500 professionals. So when I actually see the profile, I read the profile, I actually find out the nitty gritties of it and try to understand what exactly a candidate wants to mention, what it wants to demonstrate when it comes to search any job in the market. So it takes actually minimum 7 seconds to read your resume. I have written 10 seconds, but 7 seconds is the ideal time for any reader who can identify, who can locate what information you have mentioned in the document, and according to that, they consider to select or deselect your portfolio. So you have to understand the five elements of that document. First is your name, your headline, which describes you in one word, what you are and why you are, what you are and how you can represent yourself to be. So if you are a digital marketer, don't write digital marketer. What you are specializing in digital marketing space, you have to identify and you have to write that as a headline. If I'm a resume writer, I write myself as a resume writer and a LinkedIn profile makeover. I don't write as myself as a personal branding expert, because personal branding expert also involves the product management. It also involves the marketing side of it. So the thing is that, or it's like a image consultant people, who are grooming and giving trainings on soft skill, like soft skill trainings to the upcoming professionals. So I'm not doing that. My niche is resume writing, picking up the content, assessing, can pick up like which candidate is best fit for which role, and how they can retweak and how they can reconceptualize their document. So it's always important to mention yourself, to identify your niche and write it just below your name. And that is the major element of your resume, because on that basis, even when digitization is taking place, even selection and rejection of resumes in every organization has been digitized. And that is because they have installed automated track system softwares in their resume, in their document, in their computers. So before it has been parsed by any recruiter, or it has been parsed by your immediate senior who is to whom under you will working in, or by a CEO of the organization, this ATS software is actually doing their half work while screening the resume and selecting and rejecting on the grounds of the points that these hiring managers have already installed in that software. So, I mean, digitization is taking a huge toll on our lives, but at the same time, it is giving us in practicality to just, take out the redundant piece of information and be as accurate as you can. The second, okay, so this is basically an example that I wanted to showcase, and that is like the headline. So, how I represent myself. It could be as a profile critique, profile assessor, and a profile builder. And this is what is defining my mastery, as what I said. If you can see just below, I have mentioned the contact details. So it's like first it goes like LinkedIn, then email, then contact number and contact address. Guys, you should also know that you can cut short your LinkedIn URL address, and that is going to limit your space. At the same time, it is going to obviously uh, represent you as a niche. So if you see at the last in the URL address, there is a number which is given by LinkedIn. That's a default. So you can re-edit it and you can personalize your URL link, which can which is clickable. So if any recruiter is clicking on it, on that link, it will definitely open up your personal page. And contact address should always you can say mention your city, location, and pin code. Don't give an entire address where you are living in. It's only required when for the HR processes, when you have accepted the offer letter and when they are sending the form or formal and official offer letter at your home. Now, what is so special about resumes parse? I've already told you it's the world of digitization, and it is going to take ample of opportunity to reconstruct your resume. And that's where the technology is taking a good lead in the life. It will also help you to avoid duplicacy. So, guys, a lot of resume samples are available online for every industry professional. You can definitely pick it and you can duplicate the content, but ATS software is going to catch that. And then, don't underestimate your skills, but rather just identify where you went wrong. At the same time, start connecting with people, understand how they are writing their LinkedIn profiles, start connecting with
Shruti
the
ma'am,
pages. Yeah.
ma'am, are you still sharing the screen?
Yes, I am.
It's not visible for us.
Okay, I'll reshare it. Just a second.
Yeah, earlier it was visible. Right now, because some people in the comment section they have noticed there. Same for them
Okay,
also.
just give me a second.
Sure, ma'am.
Now, is it visible?
Yeah, now it is visible.
Okay. So now it comes like how which resume works. So I've told you that the resume is being divided under the five heads. It's a headline, it's your key skills, it's your work experience or projects undertaken. If you are an undergraduate and you're going to step into the industry, awards and certifications, education, additional learnings. Guys, please, uh, Sintun, can you ask the participants to mute their screen? Okay. So then additional learnings is all about the certificate earnings which you have learned to upskill yourself through LinkedIn Learning, through Upgrad, through whatever the online available courses which people are learning during the pandemic times. So all these things will come under the additional learnings. And at the same time, if you have done some of the internships which have gained recognition, you can mention it as a key achievements, which can help you to showcase what best you have done so far in your journey. Five elements also takes about the profile summary. Now, summary is all about introduction of yourself in 3 to maximum 4 sentences. What you are best at, why you're looking forward to work in that industry, how best you can give when you are applying for that role, and at the same time, what skills you can, give your expertise to. So key skills is basically a one word, one liner. If you are good in technical skills, you can mention that. If you have earned certain technical skills, yes, you can mention that. But what progressive growth you can give to that position needs to be highlighted under profile summary section. Now, this is basically an example of the ATS software, which normally has been taken. I've taken a snapshot where people is being assessed through these ATS software. So, if you can see, guys, it's basically being scored under these parameters. It's impact, brevity, communication, and at the end, it is your skills. Ideal scoring for any resume is 78 out of 100. If it stretches more than 70, like above 80, then obviously you will be called for the interview process. But the minimum score bar is 78. Now, what are the major drawbacks that has been seen, in the resume because of which your resume gets rejected within a second? Unprofessional email address, grammatical mistakes, writing something which is acceptable amongst the peer, but it is not acceptable in the professional world. So there are a lot of slangs, there are a lot of writings, like where you're using in writing also, which is not acceptable on your resume. Providing a wrong contact number information, using abrasive language about showcasing your skills. So, if you are an upcoming professional, guys, please don't use the word called leadership because you have not stepped into the industry. You have not having 7 years of work experience minimum to showcase yourself as a leader. You have not managed any group. You have not selected for any conducting or organizing the program for which, you can say successfully led the projects. You're not a project manager. Sorry. Guys, please beware. Even the 2 years of working professionals are not expected to write leadership on their resumes. These small things definitely makes a huge, accountability for you to being selected or rejected by the recruiters through ATS software. And that is why it's always now these days demanded that if you can screen select your resume by any of the good ATS softwares, or if you can come across with any profile critic who is going to, read your profile, or if any professional to whom you have grown your networking, if he can go through your profile and can give you a right set of assessment, your resume can work wonders. And it is not only with resume, guys, it is also with LinkedIn, because these days 80% of information which is provided by professionals does not match when I come across and speak to them on personal grounds. So when I restructure their content, it is not because they have written something wrong. No, that was irrelevant. Or that was done in past. It is just because now they have upgraded themselves. They don't know how they can identify and they can demonstrate it. So, whenever you are picking any word to identify, to showcase your skills, your ability to perform, your you're being diligent, you know, uh, to submit the projects. Try to understand that what you can use those words, which is acceptable for those positions you're applying to. Now, what are those action verbs that you can use? Okay, guys, one more thing. You cannot write I, me, you on your resume. At the same time, whenever you are writing any sentence, it should be action verb. Nevertheless, if you are still working in the same position, whenever the reader is reading, it is considered that you have done the work in past. So it's always been recommended to use action verbs and start the sentence by using action verbs. Now, generally, the action verbs are used like conducted, organized, spearheaded, managed, coordinated, collaborated with teams, and then the sentence is started. So it is always requested to make a crisp sentence, should not should be covered under one line. So it's only on the maximum side that you take the sentence to two liner, but it's recommended that you can put it all the information on one line and use a right set of, as I said, action verb. So these are certain keywords that you can use, like you're a field specialist, you were being flexible in learning, you were being creative and accountable. You can be a design thinker if you are UI and UX designer, or a program manager, or a marketing professional who has actually given some insights to the team and has conceptualized the product's history, product's life cycle. You can say yourself as a design thinker. Being a creative, okay, you have been working with cross functional teams. Now these cross functional teams is something which is being used commonly these days because people are working from remote areas. Earlier, cross functional teams used to be only and only defined by people who used to work with international clients, or those employees who used to work from their native places like abroad. So if the project is in South Africa and a person is working in India, that time they used to use word cross functional. But now, because in India also the recruitments are at pace when it comes into tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So now these days the cross functional working system is being adaptive and adaptable in Indian culture market also. Now, what comes to your mind when you are preparing your resume or LinkedIn? Okay, so LinkedIn, we will take it little later. Resume, if you have prepared and you see any position, minimum 250 applicants are applying for one position that you can see ideally on LinkedIn. So if any application crosses more than 250 applications, don't think to apply over there. Instead, just check who has posted that job position. And that is very well visible on LinkedIn as well. Grow your network with them. Start communicating, start connecting on LinkedIn personally, and then share your resume. Ask them a favor saying that I am so and so professional, would like to connect to you and would like to learn how I can gain jobs in this industry. Probably you will get an answer saying, and these days everybody is on the humanitarian grounds are working for each, like they're helping to each others. They will definitely come back to you with certain answers, with certain feedbacks, or maybe they can be one of the referrals for any job position which you don't know is rolled out in the market, but it is in a hidden treasure. So be specific and focused when it comes to sharing your resume. Always send your resume within 1 to 4 days of the job posting. Avoid grammatical mistakes, and I've always recommended my clients also, like to whom for whom I've prepared their resumes. Generally, the new job position that is rolled out on LinkedIn is between 6 to 10 a.m. It's in, like, ideally it is being seen. So try to submit resume within that time, because recruiters are also fresh mind and they also want to read, some interesting profiles. So you might get a chance to get selected and, to to be called for interview rounds. Always have a simple document. I would recommend personally to use Google Docs these days because it's easy to convert to PDF. At the same time, it is also giving you a lot good space to demonstrate your work experience, your skill sets. It helps you to, give good divides and columnize the information. So when it comes to resume building, and obviously some of the organization also ask a Word document. At that time also, Google.docx is being acceptable by every computer, by every software programming on ATS softwares as well. So if you are actually sharing your Word document, the Google document should be the Word, basically MS Word should be acceptable on Windows 10 and above. So if you're not using, if you're using in MS Word of 90s, then obviously your resume will be rejected. So the ideal situation and scenario is Google Doc, because it has been a cloud saved. At the same time, it has been going to save on drive, and you need not to spend an extra moolah, to buy a new MS Office. Okay, so what comes when it comes to building your profile? It should be simple and crisp. It should always have a one size that is tailoring all your information. Bullet points, be a one sentence information provider. Make good use of job titles. So there are a lot of information that you can get from job responsibilities also, and from that you can pick to define yourself as a, as a one worder, or you can pick yourself and define your niche on a headline section. So you need to, that's what I'm saying, you need to be very careful when it comes to, apply for any position. Now, which resume is acceptable and which is not acceptable in the market? If you can see the screen, the resume on the left hand side is acceptable because it is clean and structured. You can see, like, every information is structured as per the parameters now these days people are asking you to do. The education is written at topmost and is recommended by those people who have studied from Ivy League. So most of the professionals, if they are from IIT Madras or, from other Ivy Leagues, you're requested to put their education column at topmost. But if you have actually gained your skills from tier 2 universities or below, you're always requested to column, you use this column or to showcase this column at the end of the page on the right hand side. So it's something which is, we are not segregating the candidates on the basis of their education by this, but in India it has a weightage. So, to avoid any sort of a discrepancy, always try to first demonstrate your profile summary about you into giving introduction. Try to give a headline and always try to demonstrate other key achievements, then, um, focusing on education. This resume is also acceptable, but mostly it is not, because ATS software sometimes only focuses on the diagram, or you can say the design of the resume. And that is why, on the simplest grounds also, your resume might get rejected. So please guys, don't take any risk in terms of, to get rejected on the grounds of simple designing or templating formatted resume. Be as simple and realistic as you can. Now, if you are a fashion designer or going to the modeling industry, this resume might be acceptable. But when you come to this resume, it is a plain, simple content giving a outlook of a candidate. The background color is also acceptable, and it is also justifying to what role you're applying to. Being a graphic designer, that kind of uniqueness is expected from you. So be a UI UX designer, product manager, or graphic designer, or maybe you are a programmer, or you are a PlayStation special, programming specialist, mobile gamer, programmer. So these kind of resumes are acceptable from your end. So again, this portfolio is not acceptable in tech, in IT or any other industry except the modeling industry. Whereas this resume is acceptable because being a UI UX designer, you have demonstrated your skills nicely. One more thing, don't mention MS Office as your skill. Guys, this is not a skill. And don't use MS Word as your skill. If you are a pivot table learner, you can use that as your skill. If you are an advanced MS Excel professional, you can use that as a skill. But if you're a beginner, or you can use a normal document, that is not a skill set. Whereas if you have learned something unique, Adobe Coral Draw, or something, a unique software, which is demonstrating and defining your technical skill sets for that position, and that can be used for that position, you can very well define that. It's quite crisp. They have used action verbs. They have also given up, the information which is relevant to their projects or their past working history. That is why this is quite acceptable in the industry. Resume and LinkedIn is interrelated, but at the same time, you cannot use the same information that you have demonstrated on resume. LinkedIn, if you come to about section, it is identified and demonstrated under five heads. Why you are on LinkedIn, what purpose you are connecting with people, how your personality, your skills, your past achievements can help in growing networking, what is the main agenda behind creating your profile on LinkedIn, and lastly, you can reach out to me and you showcase your email address. If you're working under these five parameters, writing a crisp content, giving a space for all these five pointers, it is going to give a reader a, to think to read your profile. I mean, it's an eye catchy profile for a reader. At the same time, if you just read the LinkedIn profiles, people mention hell lot of points under work experience for any particular work, position they have worked into. Try to demonstrate only 4 pointers that is going to demonstrate your skill sets as well as what achievements you have earned. That is going to define your work ability and how you well can hold a position if it is given to you in other firm. Now, it is also important to showcase your additional certification learnings, your education, and also recommendations are really important these days. Why? Because LinkedIn is considered to be one of the authentic platform where people are not bluffing when it comes to recommendations, a column. So try to give recommendations to your colleagues or to your friends, and ask the recommendations from the colleagues with whom you have worked with, or with your professors to whom you have a really good reputation with. At the same time, if you can ask with your senior professionals, even those people who headed you during your internship period. So, taking as many accomplishments through recommendation can also define your ability to work for that particular position. Now, the main address on LinkedIn is on skills and endorsements. Many people think that whatever is available, because that is automated, LinkedIn gives you that option to, demonstrate that skills and endorsements uh, under that section. Guys, only endorse those skills which are matching to your personality. I personally make clients delete those skills which are not relevant for them, and to give that kind of clarity, because random person who is connecting with you on LinkedIn, even they are asked to click and endorse your skills. So it's only been visible 5 skills on their screen, and those 5 skills which are visible on the screen is really important for you to demonstrate what is the right pick skill that can help you to gain a job. Even LinkedIn algorithm and AI, like AI, artificial intelligence programming, now these days rate your profile in top 2% or in top 1% on LinkedIn because of the skills in which you mastery at. Especially if you have those technical skills which they demand you to have, and that can help you to demonstrate you. And they always give you that badge that you are under top 2% professional, which LinkedIn has chosen you. So you have to be very selective. Don't showcase MS Office as your skill, please. But if you are UI UX designer, showcase what skills you have earned under UI and UX as a designer. If you are a mastery at Corel, please showcase that, or any other sort of a technical. If you're a good programmer, if you're using R, take it into that consideration and highlight it, endorse as a skill. But be very practical. Don't If you're not good in communications, don't endorse it. If you're not good in marketing and communications or business development, if you have ever never have picked that kind of a skill or role in your life, in your journey, don't try to endorse that skill on your LinkedIn. Okay, so what needs to be emphasized is your contact information, your headline, your profile summary, your work experience, your key achievements, and your additional learnings, even on LinkedIn. And since it's a one-stop destination, this is the best during the pandemic times that have seen that people are working, they are helping each other, and they are also helping. Even the companies are helping, because they also need good employees for their organization to work for a particular position for which they are hunting, good talent. So try to be assertive to what you are writing, and at the same time don't bluff with the information, because sooner or the later these recruiters, they have good referrals, they have connections to, they use those as a references, and they ask your personality. So there are a lot of screening processes, takes a lot of procedures to finally giving offering you a job later. So your a smallest mistake can take a toll uh, to your decisions. During the pandemic time, I will also say utilize this time optimally with something new, which is for free or at a reduced price, especially with the upgrades, Udemy, these ethic websites that has provided us with ample of learning opportunities. This is a perfect time to expand your skill set, whether that means enrolling in an intensive skill building boot camp or reading motivational books or topics that you like the most. Attend some highly informative webinars, virtual sessions, and gain industry insights. I'm sure this is going to help each one of us get a job where you can put in your best efforts. And for that, from today onwards, it's a request from everyone to start preparing a personal brand sheet. Take a register, take a pen and paper, and try to demonstrate your achievements that you have done so far, the learnings that you have undertaken during the pandemic times. Also, mention on the other side of the paper for which job positions you have applied till date, why your application was rejected. Try to analyze, try to identify those common points that was mentioned and because of which you were not being selected for interview round. Try to identify the job responsibilities for those job positions and what was interrelating or what was something different that you have missed out in your resume. Try to connect with as many professionals while joining e-journals, groups, associations on LinkedIn. Note down every step-by-step internship task. Maybe a simple internship task may not be relevant for you to mention it on a resume, but when it comes to a resume writer, maybe that is important and that is going to be a life changer for you. So each and every step is important to write, and then you can introspect yourself that whether it is really important to mention or probably you can miss out and you can speak that when it comes to interview rounds. Also, at the same time, for the upcoming professionals, you are requested to only mention CGPA and GPA when you are scoring more than 8.5 out of 10 or 4 out of 5. It depends on the scoring parameters. If you're earning below to that, you're not requested to mention GPA and CGPAs for your learnings. I would just say it's a road to develop your profile. I miss the pandemic time because bootstrapping your skill is foremost imperative. At the same time, recording the task is also because we all are in a learning stage. We all are, picking up as many free online courses which are available, and we think that it is apt to our personality. So start recording that, prepare your content, start searching good profiles on LinkedIn, how they are demonstrating themselves. Start matching the profiles, start comparing what is different and why it is so appealing compared to the B profile, which is just mentioning about what core objectives they have undertaken. And then try to remodify, tweak your resume. Try to ask a professional to read your resume or LinkedIn profile and take their positive feedback. Any criticism is good for you because it is going to grow your presence online. You can reach out to me anytime on these contact addresses. I'm a profile builder. I am a profile, you can say, assessor. So I'm a profile critique. And now these days, I have, because of the Amid COVID, I have taken up a special prize out as a marketing strategy. It is basically, but still, it's a special prize where I am assessing profiles of candidates and giving the profile assessment scorecard to them. So whosoever is in requirement is required to come to me for this kind of requirement where I have to assess their profiles. I can very well help them to share the scorecard with them. I Over to you, Sinthun. I think I have concluded my session, and I would really like that people should come forward now for um, the queries. We can take for next 15 minutes, the query session.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I
Ma'am,
think.
Gladson here.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for highlighting the important topics of LinkedIn and profile building. Now we are open for questions, so you can unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can ask the question in the chat box. Okay, ma'am, someone has asked one question. Can you please elaborate ATS functioning on a resume submitted to LinkedIn apply and the process of shortlisting the resume for the application submitted from a HR perspective?
Shakib, Shuaib, if you want, you can unmute yourself and ask, okay?
Yeah, hi everyone. Shakib is here from Hyderabad. Hi Shruti. Just would like to know some information about the CTS functioning on a resume submitted through LinkedIn.
Okay, so Shakib, hi, and thank you for asking this question. Okay, so this software is it's an integrated software by an HR on their systems. Okay, so LinkedIn is not functioning under ATS screen software program. Okay, because when I have also tried LinkedIn to get connect with the people as a interns when I was hiring for my firm. So they whosoever is applying on LinkedIn, okay, LinkedIn is straight away giving me those applications and giving those details that whosoever has applied for that position. Now it's my personal computer which has automatic software which has been you can say installed, and I simply put that resume to that software and screen select, or you can say parse it, because on the basis of the parameters which I've already configured in that software, and on that basis it is getting my work easier to select or reject that resume. Now I am little diligent, and not little, but I'm diligent worker, and at the same time I'm quite because I'm a profile critic, so it's my duty, but I also outperform that. So whenever I think that this profile is not matching to the requirement for which I have rolled out that position for my company, I personally mail that candidate because I have all the information, the email address, and specifically the email address I have. I've specifically, given that assessment scorecard to that professional, saying that these lines are missing, or your role is not at all matching with the position for which I've rolled out. So if you have your expertise and if this job position rolls out, please try to share your resume there instead of sharing unnecessary to every position. So you will not get these kind of generous recruiters who is going to give you an honest reply. Okay. ATS resume parsing, how it is used in benefiting us. In a way, it is not benefiting us. It is only benefiting the HR professionals. That is why networking is really important. And referrals is the key source of getting jobs and taking jobs. Whether the world is getting digitization, the traditional process of hiring is still being practiced in every industry in India. I have a gap around 6 years, then how to build a resume or find a niche? Well, this is a really good question. During the pandemic times, people are being furloughed, and this is it's the cause of concern that these people want to demonstrate what they have learned during this process, during this time when they were furloughed, or they got a pink slip, or they just got rejected for the jobs. Try to demonstrate, try to justify what you have done during those missed periods. So it could be missed period. So the thing is that, sorry to use that word, but when you have missed to work during that duration, so what exactly that is, if you have taken any course, try to demonstrate that. If you have taken a freelancing projects, try to demonstrate that. Or if you have given your stint to start any startup or any venture, to grow your business, to run a small scale business, try to feature that out, because your entrepreneurial skills will be assessed and analyzed, and this will not give a huge gap. It will not show a huge gap in your industry. At the same time, if you are mother and you want to make a career transition because of the motherhood, reasons, it's requested to pick up a small good online course, or it could be a working professionals program which are running now these days by elite organizations or institutes. Pick that program, enhance your skill set, and then try to apply for jobs.
Uh, yeah, ma'am, I have one question in a way like, what's the biggest change that is going to happen in the work culture after COVID? Like after this pandemic situation, which has been happening, what's the biggest
Okay.
change that is going to happen in the work culture?
Work culture is something that, organizations are accepting work from home policy.
Okay,
Earlier, only the IT and specified to IT projects, this work from home culture was limited to that particular stream, you can say, or that area. Now, even the traditional organizations, which are known as Lala companies, sorry to use this word, but yeah, in India it is known as Lala companies, they have accepted work from home policy. At the same time, you will get to see a huge diversity of cultural diversity when it comes to working with talents. So, a person who is sitting in the remotest areas of India is could and is eligible to apply for the position as similar to the professional who is sitting and in a Bangalore city or any metro city and applying for the same position. The
okay,
chances to get a job to either of the professional is on the basis of their skill sets. That is why during the session, I'm only highlighting about the skills on which you can demonstrate your best personality, and on that grounds, you will be called for that particular job. The
okay,
third major thing is digitization, and digitization means artificial intelligence and machine learning. And it
okay,
is being available and as short courses online, free courses also. Try to understand those concepts, and it is acceptable in every industry.
okay. Okay, and ma'am, is there any chance it in a way like work from home is going to be the next work culture which every company is going to be following? Like
Yes, it is going to be.
because of this pandemic situation, now everyone is in that area. So, do you believe that in India, especially because like companies like Amazon and all, they have already informed their employees like for another 6 months or 1 year they are going to follow that. So, do you believe that other companies also will be following the same footstep?
See, it depends on the job position. So if it comes to IT, per
Okay,
se, those people who are handling systems, cloud architect, these small technicalities that needs a human,
okay,
human presence to take care of the computer systems and architecture. They were being called to office, and they will continue to be, working from office.
okay.
But when it comes to a project based managerial roles, design based roles, consulting based roles, strategic based roles, all the teams are working from homes, and it can continue work because there are a lot of startups these days who have closed their offices. They have totally shut down their physical presence, and they have come virtually,
Okay,
and they've asked their employees to go wherever they are living in their lives, and they can operate through virtually, and they can work from where they're sitting at.
okay. Ma'am, and one more thing, right? You also told in the resume building it in a way, like when you are mentioning about the education, you have to mention only when you have that 4 out of 5 or 8.5 out of 10 CGPA. But right now, if you can see, like there are most of the companies, like mostly the MNCs like Google or Microsoft, or these companies, they are coming up with a culture in a way that okay, they don't require even the education qualifications, or they don't even require this degree. And most of the youngsters, they are taking it in a much more serious way. Like they think it in a way like it's a much more serious thing. So, what's your point of view towards that? And can you just give us an enlightenment on that particular area? Like, if they are not looking for a degree, so automatically they will be looking for other qualifications or other skill sets which they will be having, or which they have to have in their hand. So can you just enlighten on that area?
Well, you have said it all. If they are particular skilled, if they are growth hacker,
Okay.
if they are coding specialist, if they are, technical specialist, you can say
Okay.
they're hackers, they are
Okay.
marketing specialists. They don't need then they just need to appear for that technical round, which
Okay.
Google, Amazon, and these tech companies actually,
Okay.
it's their process of screening and selecting the employees.
Okay.
So that technical round is a question and answer round. At the same time, it's an exam.
Okay.
So if a profession is a coder, they will given a case study where they will be asked to prove their coding experience.
Okay.
Or if they call themselves to be a professional, they will be tested on that grounds. If they pass through that test,
Okay.
you are in. Then they will not ask, are you from Ivy League or non-Ivy League?
Okay. And ma'am,
But yeah, but the chances to get into Google and Amazon after getting graduated from Ivy League gets little higher because they come in the campus to
yeah.
select. As a campus recruiters, they come over there and they select the professionals.
Okay. Okay, and one more thing also, ma'am. As of right now, the job market is literally going down because of this pandemic situation, or job losses are happening. So when will be that next boom that we can see in that job market, where that huge number of openings will be happening into it? So when will be that boom, or when will be that change of shift of like a shift from and like what you can say, like much more openings, much more new jobs coming into the market? So when exactly that can happen at this point of time, considering this pandemic which is happening right now?
Okay, so very recently, 2 days back only, I read it that automotive industry is again booming.
Okay.
The job loss, the job problems is only for those people who are getting paychecks on daily basis. Okay,
Okay.
daily wage workers, which we say, or those workers which are working on specific job levels which got affected because of the lockdown.
Yeah. Okay.
When it comes to job crisis, it is just because the skill gap, the automation digitization has been demanding for the people like us, the professionals, to upskill and match those requirements. If you are a marketer, you used to do a traditional marketing, now you're expected to do digital marketing.
Yeah.
And because you I'm just giving you a lighter example, but now because you are not digital marketer, that wide scale has emerged.
Okay.
Similarly, if 10 more professionals who are not meeting that requirement because the digitization process is now demanding from you, definitely the gap will get more widened.
Sure, ma'am. Thank
Jobs
you.
are there in the
Is there?
market, jobs are reviving,
Okay.
companies are calling for good they're calling recruiters to get the manpower
Yeah.
basically for their companies.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Is there anybody those who are left out with asking for the questions? Yeah, Saifin, I think we can wind up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inputs on profile building and resume. Thank you all for giving your time and joining. I hope you have taken the important parts of profile building. You may have lots of experience, you may have highest education, you may have numerous achievements, but to convey all your life's hard work, which have small and big experiences, I believe Shruti Goyal is the only one I will prefer. She makes your profile looks highly professional and all in such a simple language. The way she gives best effort and time to meticulously understand your need and requirement is what makes the profile looks the best. She is highly professional and very creative in her work. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your time and your inputs for profile building. It was a really great session.
Thank you so much for listening, and it was a great time conducting this session with you guys. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
you, ma'am.
everyone. Thank you.